Silas here. So the great thing about reality is it doesn't need to fight. It doesn't need to be convincing. It doesn't need to acquiesce to anything. Whether you believe it or not, it just is. And that to me, that realization, I just came to this realization a few a few weeks ago. I posted it on Instagram on US Elise if you want to follow me on there. And somebody else posted it and said that there was another great thinker that had thought of something similar to it. I'm not saying I'm a great thinker, but that's just an observation of reality. It's just showing that if you just think about things enough and they're based off of reality, you will eventually come to the conclusion and awareness of what that truth, fact based reality thing is. It's not like I'm going to come to a different reality about reality than anybody else who puts enough thought and pursues finding enough factual information about reality is going to come to something else because we are talking about the same thing. I say most of the problems in the world exist because of how we define X rather than what X is. So I'm going to do a series of questions in separate videos so we can have some conversation below them about honesty, truth, facts, and how much people actually want these things in their lives. Because I think it is wrong to assume that everybody is sitting there and thinks, I want people to be honest with me at all times. I'm going to wake up every day and try and actually conform to reality and be closer to what reality is rather than have reality conform to how I want it to be, if that makes any sense. But hopefully through these questions, you can kind of get to that point where we kind of have a conversation. And I'm going to base this off of some few things going forward. Because I remember when I was a kid, when I was younger, when I was in high school, I started realizing like, hey, I'm actually pretty decent at lying. Like I can tell people lies and they believe me. And I don't know if it's they just trust me and this, or they didn't expect people to actually tell lies. So they're like, okay, you're probably not lying about that. Or I just don't know. Or they didn't really think to even ask that question. Then I thought of, okay, what do you want to be? And I thought like something like a lawyer. In general, aren't lawyers professional liars? They're actually paid to kind of lie or bend the truth or not necessarily be 100% honest. And I was thinking, would I want to be a lawyer if I'm good at lying? And I thought, no. I don't actually think that's a good kind of life to live. I don't want to lead a life where I'm lying a lot, whether it's money or not. What if you get to a situation, you know this person has killed someone, but you're a defense lawyer? I guess you could recuse yourself. I didn't really think about this that much when I was a kid. But it was like, how do you get in that situation where you know this person has committed the crime and you're defending this person? Would you just go out anyway and just get them off because there's some kind of way you can? Because you know there's some ins and outs and the prosecution didn't actually bring the case in the right way and you can get this person off? Is that necessarily a bad thing? And I thought, yeah, it's kind of a bad thing. I don't like lying. I don't want to lie. I don't want to do that in my life. And from then and soon after that, I got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to tell lies in my life. And I tried to do that as much as possible. But there's also possibilities of not necessarily telling the truth. You can go around without lying, but just bending the truth or just not saying anything. I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I would rather just not say anything, and I'm pretty good at finding ways to not say anything, which probably a lot of you are thinking, like, yeah, you're not saying anything in this video right now, or they're watching you, like, get to the point. So here's the point. What do you think is easier, living your life telling lies, or living your life without lies? Because I got to the point where I was also thinking, just out of practicality, if I don't tell a lie, I never really have to remember, oh, I was talking to this person 10 days ago, and then I told them a lie about something that I did 3 weeks ago. And at that time, what exactly did I tell this person the lie was? And who was I with 3 weeks ago? Because now that I've met this person 10 days later, I'm with the person that I told them that I lied with. If they ask them about that situation, then that person would be like, I wasn't with Silas like 3 weeks or it would be 4 weeks. If I told them 10 days ago, that's 7 days. So it would be 4 weeks and math is horrible. It would be 4 weeks and 3 days ago. That person would be like, I wasn't with Silas. So what are you talking about? Then I have to remember that, okay, in this situation, I told this person a lie that involves this person. So I have to find a way to get this story to not come up, get this question to not come up, or they can't talk together, or I see them talking together without me. No, I have to rush over there and make sure doesn't come up. So there's a lot of effort when you tell lies in your life. And I thought, if I just tell the truth at all times, then I don't have to worry about this. If the guy's talking, there's no story that's going to come up. If I haven't met someone in a while and they tell me, oh, what do you do this kind of time and this other situation? I just go back to memory and I just think, okay, yeah, it's just a memory. This is the same memory I told you about. I know memory changes a little bit over time. Even not over time, memory can change even just, I might not even be able to remember accurately what I said at the start of this video. But the memory changed. But you don't have to invent things and then now try to remember all this extra information. So arguably, just living your life, mostly just not telling lies, living your life not telling lies, should be technically easier to do than living your life telling lies. Now, when we get to success, I'm going to get to the second part because I'm not quite sure if success necessarily goes hand in hand with complete total honesty. And that might actually raise the difficulty level because, okay, check this out. Let's just get to it now. Okay, so somebody is honest all the time. Then probably the people around them eventually will come to them and they'll get the people around them who appreciate honesty and people are also honest back to them. And then they'll have a certain quality of life and things like that that they're happy with. Now, if you tell lies all the time, the people who are going to come around you who want to hear lies all the time will probably be lying to you too, and they'll probably lower your quality of life. The type of people around you are probably not going to be the same kind of quality where you can't rely on them in certain issues. Oh, let's go meet at this place. Oh yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm totally going to be there. They have no plan of being there. But the honest person, even if you're not really going that far, if the person's like, I can't be there, you know they won't be there. If they're like, I'll try my best to be there, you know they'll try their best to be there. So just in general, on something basic like that, the honesty is having a better kind of situation. But what if you have now success? If you have somebody achieving something, achieving certain levels, quality of life, financial success would be something to talk about right now. If you have the state institutions, and the state is any given organization, people or peoples with a monopoly of violence over a given area, so extortion with taxation, central planning, things like this. You go previously when you had religious power and religious control over different areas where they believed a certain thing. If you don't say you believe XYZ, you're not actually going to be able to get certain jobs. You could even be killed for going against these things that are lies or the things that you don't necessarily believe in. So to get in that situation, wouldn't it be prudent, would it be harder for you to actually just tell the truth and then, let's say, get killed for telling the truth? I don't believe in this, kill you. Or to go in a situation where you're like, okay, I'm going to pretend I believe in this and live my life following these things as much as possible in order to still have my family survive, in order to still exist, in order to not just be killed off. I might even end up helping other people who do share my lack of belief in this kind of thing, who do think this kind of institution is actually negative. And through my actually not being 100% honest with my thoughts and beliefs about these things that I consider evil, it's actually going to help me help others and maybe even help me destroy this evil thing that I think is evil. If that makes any sense, is that a higher level of difficulty? So finishing this up, I'm going to go back to that lawyer example I'd given before. Now we're going to be talking about the truth, and I'm talking about just facts. When it comes to the facts, when it comes to the truth is pretty much just pointing out what a fact is. Let's say I was living in a cave my whole life, had never been outside, and I say the sky is blue. That is a fact. Whether I know it or not, I can say all the different colors, and until I say blue, I know it's a mix of different colors and things like this. It depends on when, sunrise, sunset. But essentially, the sky is blue is not a inaccurate statement to make. So you just say the sky is blue, and you're correct. If I said any other word or color or things like that, I technically wouldn't be correct. Again, I know there's different colors of the sky and things like this. Okay, grass is green. I mean grass, there's probably different non-green grass. Anyway, you get what I mean. You can say a factual statement without actually knowing the truth. So now when it comes to the whole lawyer situation, there's no good, bad when it comes to truth. It's all a subjective thing. Good and bad, those are valuations. I think you can argue that something that is more pro-life is in general good versus things that are anti-life. And now that's a case I'm going to make later on, probably after we get through all this honesty and truth type of things, to kind of establish a meaning there. But check this out, the lawyer situation. I am a lawyer, I have a defendant, or you're a lawyer, you have a defendant. You understand Getting the situation, getting the truth of the matter is pointing out the facts that this person has been accused and committed these crimes. Now, there's a situation where you don't know what's happened, you just know what the facts are there, so you're going to argue what's based off of the law that you're living by. So you're going to do your best. You're just going to go that way. Honest best. Now, situation one. You know the person did it. You know the person did it, but they have no proof. Is it easier or harder for you to then argue that they haven't, to defend them? Now, how about the opposite situation where you know for some reason that they haven't done it, but you also know that the people are presenting some evidence that shows that they did? From the rule of the law, this person is going to be guilty. You know, let's say you're with them, or you have some kind of way of knowing without a shadow of a doubt, but you can't actually present it as evidence that this person did not commit that crime. Is it easier or harder for you to actually just keep going in that situation? Or do you get to that point where you're like, okay, now at this point, I have to lie. I know there's no way of me proving with what I know that this person didn't do it. But at that point, is it easier for you to just decide that I'm going to tell the truth, that I have no evidence, and just let it lay that way? Or I am going to actually tell the truth or lie and actually get to the point where I'm going to find a way to lie and convince people that this person didn't do it, because by lying, I'll actually still be closer to the truth being understood by everybody else. Would that be some kind of reason you'd go around where you'd be like, okay, as long as the end goal is achieving a closer a closer description of what reality is, it's worthwhile to lie? Or is it a situation where reality itself, you feel there's never a point where you should sacrifice the truth in order to achieve something that's more realistic or closer to reality? Okay, goodbye. So there'll be links below to a few things: social media, merchandise store. On the screen during this video was the 7 Deadly Clowns, a series of drawings I did based off of the 7 Deadly Sins. I have the Clown of Gluttony up in the store if you want to get shirts or merchandise of that. But definition of this video is from Oxford Living Dictionaries. There'll be links below to this definition as well. And this is honest. Adjective: 1. Free of deceit, truthful and sincere. 1.1. Morally correct or virtuous. Example: I did the only right and honest thing. 1.2. Attributive: fairly earned, especially through hard work. Example: he's struggling to make an honest living. 1.3. Of an action: done with good intentions, even if unsuccessful or misguided. Example: he'd make an honest mistake, or he made an honest mistake. He'd made an honest mistake. Sorry, third time's the charm on that one. And then 1.4. Attributive: simple, unpretentious, and unsophisticated. Example: good, honest food with no gimmicks. Now the adverb, this is informal, used to persuade someone of the truth of something. Example: you like it when you get there. Honest. Now next we're going to go over some phrases. This is how it's used in actual phrases as one thing, the kind of idioms and things like this that are cultural, but some of these cross cultures. So earn or turn an honest penny. So that just means to earn money fairly. Make an honest woman of. They have clarification here saying humorous and dated. So to marry a woman, especially to avoid scandal if she's pregnant, the shotgun marriage type of thing. And some cultures still have this whole thing. It's even in the Bible where it says, okay, if you rape somebody in some cases, horrible thing, Christian Bible, it's in there. It says if you rape somebody and then you marry them, then it's kind of okay. No, it's not okay. That's still rape. It's horrible. But anyway. And then, to be honest, yes, to be honest, that's horrible. So, to be honest, speak frankly. To be honest, I expected to play worse. That's just an example given. The origin of this word is Middle English, originally in the sense held in or deserving of honor, via Old French from Latin honestus, from onos, see honor. So, pronunciation is honor. So that's it. That's the actual definition given. I'm going to stick with going with the Oxford Living Dictionaries for most of my definitions. They invented the language, the English did. So let's go with Oxford and then build off of there. And as I said, in this series, we're going to be talking about honesty, truth, facts, the value, what it is, when to choose it, if it's positive, if it's negative, in different ways. So thanks for listening. Goodbye.